While many of us have felt the frustration in the face of the formidable climate crisis and have wondered when the world would wake from the unsustainable fantasy of traditional fossil fuel sources, the solution to the trouble may be best managed by telling humanity to go fly a kite.
Let's go fly a kite.
Wind power to the people. Right on!
Yeah!
But not just any kind of wind power. Oh no. If you say you want a revolution, you need to train your mind to think revolutionary thoughts, which is precisely what has been done in this institution and the California State University. Ken Caldeira of the Carnegie Institute's Department of Global Ecology and Christina Archer of California State University, Chico, compiled the first ever global survey of wind energy available at high altitudes in the atmosphere. Using some 28 years of data, they discovered that in the high altitudes, there is an incredible density of wind power which they could actually use. There's a huge amount of energy available in high altitude winds, said Ken Caldeira. These winds blow much stronger and steadily than near surface winds. But you need to get up into the jet streams around 30,000 feet. So these jet streams, between 20,000 and 50,000 feet, they shift a bit seasonally, but for the most part are pretty persistent features. They're not quite like, we have a windy day and then we don't for a couple days.
Right.
They're pretty consistent. They're usually there. Their downtime is like 5% out of the year, where they're not really rolling in any given area. So they're talking, though, that if there's enough energy up there to power all of the Earth's needs 100 times over.
This is what they say about so many different kinds of energy, though. Sun that hits our planet, the wind that's in our atmosphere, everything. It's like, oh, we can power so much stuff, but then there's the problem of making it happen.
Yeah, what they're talking about here, several ideas have been proposed to harvest it, but it's basically tethering a giant kite-like wind turbine that would be lofted to the altitude of the jet stream. 40 megawatts of electricity could be generated by the current design.
That's cool.
That's the top end. The average above New York, if you put one above New York, would be about 16 kilowatts per square meter, versus on the ground, the average is about 1 kilowatt.
Yeah,
for wind turbines on the ground.
The high altitude.
Yeah.
Amazing idea. And then the cable that connects the wind turbine, kite. No, not spider silk. It's conductive. So you actually have the cable that's tethering it, or at least part of it, be part of the transfer of electricity from that turbine down to the ground where you can actually store it.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's
cool. This is going to end badly in, if they ever do this, I think. There's going to be planes running into these things, or the wind will die and the giant kite will crash down and electrocute a village or something.
I think that's the question. I mean, if you're going to put something up in the sky like that, you have to be sure that the wind is constantly going to be at a rate that will support the structure.
Right.
You can't just loft something up there and go, hey, I hope it doesn't fall.
But on the other hand, I'm sure there are people like, electric wires in walls? No, that'll burn everybody. It'll never work. So this could be,
It could be big.
In 10 years, I could be talking about how we've solved the energy crisis through kites.
Yeah, and there's a company down out of I think either it's Australia or New Zealand that's talking about a similar idea. I mean, this is an idea that's being batted around. It's one of the many ideas, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Southern Australia has one of the better.
We have to also consider what is going to happen with changing climate, if any of these patterns are going to change, and if wind is going to decrease or increase in certain areas related to how weather patterns are changing. We are at our half hour.
But I've got more stories.
I do.
I've got the Earth is going to last another billion years.
Hey, that's great.
Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome. Betelgeuse is shrinking.
Then they found the 120,000-year-old ultra microbe 3 kilometers under a glacier in Greenland and brought it back to life. So life could exist anywhere for any amount of time.
Hey, awesome. I'm going to sneeze.
Okay, so we're going to the break. We'll be back. You've been listening to This Week in Science. We have a great guest coming up next.
We do. Stay tuned for more. And do you have any questions? About 20 to 25 minutes? 20 minutes probably? Alright. Okay, thank you. Just stay on the line.
Engineering or physical science majors.